The 2011 reboot of Hunter x Hunter reaches a milestone in my review of Hunter x Hunter Episode 100. Here we are 100 episodes into the series in the middle of the Chimera Ant arc, and things are really awesome. This was a fantastic episode with a lot of really cool action, and it also displayed why I think Hunter x Hunter is one of the coolest series ever, because it has the ability to walk between the line of being completely absurd one moment and completely dark and violent the next. Obviously, the standout of this episode was Killua, who is honestly one of the coolest characters in the entire series, and he's always been really mysterious and awesome, and he always seems to be just one step ahead of Gon in terms of like his fighting skill and just his knowledge of the world in general. And this episode just showed how devastatingly powerful he is and how friggin' messed up he can be at the same time. But there's also some other huge events in this episode that are really worth noting. First and foremost, Knuckle and Shoot are trying to track down Cheetu, but it looks like Cheetu has been warned by the other Chimera Ants not to go towards them. There's a really tense scene between Leol and Cheetu, but what I really found fascinating about all of this is that between Leol, Cheetu, and Neferpito, there are 3 cat Chimera Ants, so the internet probably loved this episode. Before I get into the Killua stuff, I want to talk about Gon and his story this week. Apparently, he figured out he was being followed by a Chimera Ant, and it's that weird, creepy chameleon guy, and we've all been trying to figure out what his motive has been this entire time. He doesn't really seem to be all that malicious, and it looks like he actually wants to team up with Gon for some unknown reason. And there's actually a really funny scene where he meets up with him in the desert because there's pretty much nowhere for him to hide. And he outright admits to Gon, look, I'm not trying to start a fight with you or anything. Gon immediately just says, oh, okay, that's cool. And this really shocks him. And, you know, he's just an interesting character in general, and I really just can't wait to see where his story is going. So let's talk about Killua. Holy crap, he has an epic confrontation with the Chimera Ants this week. He fights against a ton of them the whole time that one Dragonfly guy is in the sky and he's directing all of the attacks. I especially just loved the crazy people he was fighting against. This one guy who I think was like a dung beetle Chimera Ant. He's literally rolling around on a giant ball of shit. And there's this one scene where he farts on Killua and it explodes, and this really, really pisses him off. Intermixed between all of this, there's this one scene that's truly a standout where he's attacked by all of these Chimera Ants, and during all of this, he's moving so fast, he steals all their weapons from them, and just, like, kills all of them with each other's weapons. It's brutal and epic, he's cutting trees in half, it's just friggin' awesome, and the animation here is just gorgeous. Killua's final confrontation is with one of the weirdest Chimera Ants I have ever seen. When we first see this guy, he's standing up on these cliffs, and he has this, like, giant sniper rifle, which is basically looks like a giant meat balloon sack. And essentially he has these fleas which look like bullets that he's able to put into this thing and fire like a sniper rifle. It makes no sense. It's so absurd and crazy, but you know what? I can dig it. I think it's pretty damn cool. These are not normal bullets, however. They cause you to continuously bleed, and this is a big problem for Killua, so he decides to actually take a hit directly to the head so that he can figure out where this sniper is. And eventually he runs into the sniper, and it looks like there's going to be this trap, and he wastes no time in killing this guy. He basically takes his index finger and jams it right through the temple of his head. That's when we actually figure out that this guy actually wasn't the Chimera Ant, and the gun actually was. The entire time, he was basically being taken over by this giant parasitic octopus Chimera Ant who has the ability to shoot shit from his tentacles. The scene at the end is almost too ridiculous to describe, with Killua actually using the octopus's tentacles to save himself from falling into the water and being eaten alive by a ton of all the Chimera Ants. It's a crazy scene to explain. It's really awesome, though, and if you're a fan of the series, you must check this one out. It was truly a milestone of an episode, and, you know, a lot of us were really worried when they were changing the time slot that maybe the quality of the series would go down, but this episode proved that it would not at all. All of the scenes looked great. Most of the action scenes were pretty damned incredible. All the Killua scenes were animated really, really well. Just, he's a really menacing character, and it's surprising because he's also just a little kid. This was a top-notch episode of Hunter x Hunter, which had really, really good pacing, awesome brutal action, and some really cool story development. So this was just a great episode right here. I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10. You know, if you're not following the Hunter x Hunter series, I do highly recommend it if you're into, like, action anime and shonen-type anime. It's a little darker than stuff like Naruto, but, I mean, it's awesome. I'm just really enjoying it right now. This Chimera Ant arc is truly one of the most fun arcs I've ever seen in any anime series, and I'm glad that it's continuing to be really high-quality stuff, so Awesome episode, check it out, guys. So if you had a chance to check out the 100th episode of Hunter x Hunter, I'd love to know what you guys thought about it, and you can let me know in your comments below. Remember, guys, before you leave, make sure and give this video a thumbs up. Absolutely one of the best ways to support our videos. So, I will see you next time, guys. Super Kami Guru 9000, out.